So it looks like we're back again with another Star Citizen video, and this time, unlike all other times, there's controversy. You know, who would have thought that the game that's a decade delayed and $800 million over budget could possibly have any more controversy left in it? But this time, the community seems to actually be angry over something that they should be angry about. Usually what happens is no one in the Star Citizen community is angry about stuff they should be, but everyone outside the community is angry on their behalf, even though it doesn't really matter and people just use it for a bit of schadenfreude. But this time it seems like everyone, bar like a few, you know, zealots and cultists, are of the opinion that this time they've finally gone and done it. Old CIG have finally crossed the line. And it's relating to money, a little bit of money grubbing, because why would it not be when you're this far in? So after raising over $800 million from its community, Star Citizen developer delays the release of a new ship upgrade feature. So the intro to the article is already funny. It says, the only thing more astonishing than Star Citizen's ability to extract funds from its community is the eagerness with which said community has supported it. True. Across 13 years, they've raised $800 million for a convoluted mixture of paid alpha access subscriptions, merchandising, microtransactions, and selling spaceships that cost hundreds of dollars to players. I suppose you could call these microtransactions. You certainly could. Now, the context of what's happened here is... Let me lay the groundwork for you, okay? Star Citizen has a public test environment, right? It has a test realm where people can go and test new features. And you would think something that was going to be put into the game as part of an update would be on said test realm. But for this one, it was not. It was not put on the test realm. They just decided, we are going to save this thing that people don't know is on the way, push it to the live version of the game with an update, and charge you real money for it, without the option of spending in-game currency on the thing, which is typically how Star Citizen works, by the way. If you are unfamiliar with their game, with the racket, so to speak, they say you are supporting development if we develop something and then sell it to you for real money first, i.e. brand new ships. You can only buy them with real money first, as far as I'm aware. And then later on, we make them available for the plebeians, like the farm workers, the serfs, can eventually come in and buy the same ships to fly around with the other guys. And for whatever reason, this has been like accepted as reasonable and normal. For, I guess the logic is like, oh, we're testing it, not on the test realm. So that's why it costs money, because we get early access to it. We get to get the early access microtransactions in the early access game that's not really in early access. But obviously, as soon as all the community started revolting, the staff came out and made amendments. They said, oh, fucking hell, guys, we're actually doing loads of updates this year, so that's why we've just tried to fuck your ass. You know, don't mind the fact that my hands just reached into your trousers while you were bending over and tried to, you know, grab a fucking handful. Don't worry about that, because we're releasing more patches. We're squashing more bugs, so we should actually be able to fuck you. Not what they actually said. That's a joke. Lawyers from CIG, don't hurt me. So they said, throughout the Star Citizen evolution, one fundamental principle has remained paramount. Everything you pledge for to support our development will eventually be attainable through gameplay. This is just a way to say everything's probably going to be in the cash shop eventually, but you will be able to get it in the game, which some people don't see as pay to win for some reason, because they'll do the whole conversation of like, what is winning? Spending thousands of dollars to have access to everything, when somebody else has to toil away in the fucking salt mines of Moria, probably winning for a good chunk of people, but, you know, what do I know? Your contribution helps push things forward, but your time in the verse should be equally rewarded. Yeah, your 800 millions really helped us. Where would we be without you? We're pushing 11 patches this year instead of 4. We're crushing more bugs than ever, building more exciting content, moving faster than ever to make the persistent universe a better experience for everyone. And in moving that fast, we missed a step. They just didn't know that this would be perceived poorly. They had no idea that this was wrong. You know, when somebody asks you, like, what's a bigger problem? When somebody does something bad, or the fact that they, despite years and years of experience doing similar things, had the idea to do it in the first place. And you've got to think, when something's at a corporate level like this is a big company, hundreds and hundreds of employees, a real chain of command. This has gone through multiple meetings, through heads of departments, all the way up through the company before happening. For however many weeks or months it took to get this over the line, have signed off on this being a thing. From the top down, this has gone through everybody. And they thought this was a good idea. The fact, nobody should even be upset that they've walked this back. Like, nobody should have a problem with the fact that this exists. They should have a problem with the fact that the company thought this was reasonable. But realistically, why would they not think it was reasonable when the fan base for this game so vehemently supports what everyone else can see should be unsupportable from the jump? And usually what it comes down to is, we like the game, we have fun in the game, so actually we'll eat some shit now and again. And if people really had their own interests at heart, they would have pushed back against a bunch of stuff that this game's done for many, many years. Selling beacons to claim land, things like that in an unreleased game. Selling microtransaction packs with tens of thousands of dollars. Unreleased ships and things like that for hundreds of dollars. All of this stuff is bad, and it should have been pushed back a long time ago, but this is why they feel comfortable doing this. And if you think this is the last time, I'm sorry to say, you're fucking delusional. This is definitely going to continue on, because they have precedent of being able to get away with it if the thing that they put in is enjoyable enough. And the only way that the problem with Star Citizen is always going to be, the only way you can really hold them to task, the only way you can really force their hand to do something, is to cut off your own nose to spite your face. Because if at any point everyone just turns around and goes, actually, no, 13 years is too long, $800 million is too much, we're all going to stop giving you money now until the game's released, the game just dies, right? Like, they don't have multiple years of runway worth of money. They're generally spending whatever comes in the door. Within, 2-3 months of receiving no money, this company would be firing hundreds of employees, closing studios. Like, it would be a fucking bloodbath. It would be a cascade. Because once a company's, this big, to scale down to this big quickly will fuck everything when there's this much bloat and this much corporate structure for the company. So there's no real way. This community has put themselves in an unwinnable position whereby you either continue to support and maybe it releases at some stage and is a full game, or you don't and it potentially just goes away. Realistically, they'd probably just release what they have, and admittedly, there's a lot of people who really enjoy what Star Citizen currently is, which is fine. I have no problem with that. I enjoy what you're going to enjoy. My issue is when people go to social media and defend this, oh, it's actually not that bad that they've spent $800 million and they're so far off whack, and they constantly make promises that don't get fulfilled, and there's a bunch of stuff that you could call a little bit of bait and switchy from back in the day, from Kickstarter, from what it was going to be to what it is now. And those conversations are unwelcome in the community because people like it, which is kind of not where I'm at, but there we go. So they make clear the new flight blades will be obtainable for AUEC, which is the in-game currency, in the next patch this June. We followed our usual approach by offering early access on the Pledge Store to help support development. Imagine the fucking goal of having development supported to the tune of $800 million. And then you're like, this thing that could definitely be perceived as yet more pay to win we're just going to put it in the pledge store so you can support development. Motherfucker, we supported development for 13 years. Give me the thing. People would still buy this. Like, you don't have to be greedy. Like, you look at the game's money. The game's money just goes up. Money printer go burr. Like, you're raising millions of dollars per day. 2 million, 2.7 million at the lows, couple $100,000. What, despite the fact that this happened 3 days ago, you've still in that time raised like $5-6 million, and you're talking about, oh yeah, fucking, so you can support development. Please, bro, please. But that's the point as well. A bunch of people are like, oh, I'm not going to buy anything this update because of what they've just done. This big sale, you know, this whatever week it is this week, where they just earn a bunch of money off people. Because if you look at the funding, like look at some months. Oh, November, we raised $20 million. December, oh, we only raised $18 million. But in January, we only raised $7 million. And they obviously do these big sales and things. There's people on Reddit going, oh yeah, I'm not going to buy anything in this sale. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. People are they're still spending every day after millions of dollars, still, you know, really punishing them, really hitting them where it hurts for what they've done, which just goes to show, you know, if they didn't pull this back, I guarantee people would have bought it, and within months people would have been turning around going, it's not that big of a deal, is it? Like, I guarantee it. After some reflection, we've decided that for smaller components like flight blades or bomb racks, they should be available in-game at the same time they appear on the store, which essentially just says we're still going to continue to paywall big things for the pledge store. So unluck, I guess. But again, this is what people have accepted. This is what people think is fine. It's play the alpha game that you have to pay to get into, and then pay to buy the stuff to test, which has already been on PTU unless they decided not to because they wanted to spring it on you. Like, oh, surprise, I'm fucking in you. You know what I mean? Like, this is what they've been conditioned to do because people have accepted it the whole time. The choice has and always should be yours. If you want to support the project early, you can, but it's not required. If you own a game package, you'll be able to pick these up with in-game currency in our next monthly patch. And for future gameplay kit introductions, we'll ensure that these are obtainable in-game on day one. Great. You know, just the small things. Which begs the question, why the fuck can you buy the small things for real-life money in the first place? This game is going to be like the cryptocurrency game, only without cryptocurrency. Insert any crypto game where you can buy everything for real money. That will be what this game is by the end, because you basically already can anyway. It'll be people selling moons to each other for thousands of dollars or some crazy shit. Like, it already has all of the building blocks and foundations of that. Like, Star Citizen is the original NFT game before NFTs even existed. Like, I'm fairly sure if Star Citizen came out in like 2016, that would have been their model because it fits perfectly. Like, there is no discernible difference apart from a lack of blockchain when I see the business practices of like insert dogshit crypto game number 579 and Star Citizen. Other than Star Citizen has an actual game, I guess, which to be fair is a pretty big differentiator. But at the same time, talking business practices, there's no difference. Like, it's just, I don't blame them because they're a business. They're just out to make money and continue development and continue the game to continue making money. But at the same time, there seems to be a reasonable way to do things, and Star Citizen kind of crosses the line of unreasonable in my opinion, personally. Thanks to everyone who weighed in, especially those who brought the heat constructively. The game has always been shaped by the community. Star Citizen wouldn't exist without your passion and support or your scrutiny and feedback. We hear you and we take it all to heart. Good times. So you've even got people saying here the same thing I've just said. This is nothing new. They offer the things first to pay, and then you can get it for in-game money later. But it's interesting to see Star Citizen threads on the Reddit being critical of the game, because anytime I see anything where I'm like, you know, there seems to be this thing that happens in people's brains where I can simultaneously cover like 15 topics where the people think I'm being reasonable and fair and objective, and I've not put money into them. I have nothing against them. Like, I'm just looking at it from like the perspective that I have. And people are like, oh yeah, reasonable take. And then when it gets to things like Star Citizen, where people have strong feelings and they either emotionally or physically, not physically, emotionally or financially invested in it in some way. And then they're like, suddenly you have become unreasonable looking at it in the same way you look at other things. And it's been the same way with a lot of things with Star Citizen. I think I own a Star Citizen package. I think I bought one years and years and years ago. But I don't care. Like, I don't care if the game comes out tomorrow, if it doesn't come out tomorrow. I don't care about money I put into the game. I have no salt towards this. But for some reason, every time I see something and I'm like, surely the community is going to be outraged about this because this is just bad. Like, they're just not. And they're like, actually, those people who criticize this, they're the wrong ones. So it's nice to see that the Star Citizen subreddit is actually upvoting critical opinions of something that, in my opinion, is completely indefensibly shit. For, let's remember, this is supposed to be a video game. And one of the things that makes me laugh about Star Citizen is people will go like, oh, you've not played the game, you don't get to have an opinion, which is fair. But at some point, just do yourself a favor. If you have, you know, an opinion on the amount of criticism you can have for something, just go to the Star Citizen store and just remember that this game is unreleased, and then just click on, navigate to this section where you can scroll down the cash shop, and just understand that every time I scroll down, the bar resets and more things show up, and this is an unreleased game. And I'm still scrolling, and I'm still scrolling, and I'm still scrolling, and I'm still scrolling, and there we go. That's the end. Like, this is the, look at how long it takes to scroll up, bro. In an unreleased game, they're selling ships that sell out. FOMO, predatory marketing. They're selling out of pixels in an unreleased video game, and for £319.20 with 20% VAT. What's that, like $350 US? And they're selling out of these fake spaceships. If at any point somebody criticizes this concept and you as a video game player go, oh, you've not played the game so you don't get to have an opinion, this is actually fine, please look in the mirror. Have a fucking word with yourself. I think a lot of things that Star Citizen shows in their trailers are great, and it looks like the game's coming along nicely, which it really fucking should be after so long and so much money. But what the fuck is this, guys? Come on. Either way, you know, that's another Star Citizen video. I'm sure the comments will be very interesting. And yeah, thanks for watching. Go check out Gamer Subs, link in the video description. You can buy some waifu cups, you can buy some gamer juice. You can also buy some merch, and you can do so with my code, which gives you a discount and gives me a kickback of a percentage of the money that you spend, which is win-win for everybody. And there we go. Thanks for watching. Suggest content you want to see me cover, and I'll see you next time.